You know that feeling when your phone lights up and you see a name you never thought you'd see again? Your heart does this thing where it stops for just a split second, and in that one moment, 1,000 memories rush through you all at once. That person meant something to you. Maybe they meant everything, and now they're back. Or maybe you're sitting here right now hoping they will be. Either way, what you're feeling right now is one of the most complicated, beautiful, terrifying experiences a human being can go through. And I want you to know something before we go any further. I understand it. Not in a surface-level, generic kind of way. I genuinely understand the specific kind of ache that comes with a lost connection. The kind that lives in your chest quietly for months or even years. The kind that sneaks up on you when a certain song plays or when you smell something familiar, or when you drive past a place you used to go together. This matters deeply. And you deserve real answers, not fluff. So let's talk about what's actually happening when a lost connection finds their way back. What it means, what to do, and how to navigate it in a way that doesn't destroy you or the connection all over again. But first, I want to tell you something important. There are people right now who have completely transformed how their most painful lost connections ended up becoming their most powerful, loving, lasting relationships. Not by chasing, not by begging, not by doing everything wrong the way most people do when they get a second chance. By understanding something most people never figure out on their own. If you want to know what that is, there is a program linked in the description below this video. I'm not going to sit here and pressure you into anything. Honestly, if you feel like you have it all figured out, you probably don't need it. But if some part of you knows that you could easily mess this up, which most people do, then it might be the most important thing you look at today. Because windows like this don't stay open forever. Now, let's go deeper. Here's what nobody tells you about lost connections. The pain of losing someone important to you doesn't actually go away with time the way everyone says it does. It changes shape. In the beginning, it's sharp. It's a knife. You feel it every single morning when you wake up and the reality hits you again that they're gone. Then slowly it becomes more like a dull weight. You carry it around and most days you don't even notice it anymore. But it's there. It's always there. And here is the part that's incredibly hard to admit. You built a life around that absence. You got used to the hole. You told yourself a story about why it happened, what it meant, who was at fault, what you should have done differently. You replayed certain conversations in your head so many times that you practically memorized them. You wondered what they were doing, whether they were happy, whether they ever thought about you the same way you thought about them. The truth? Most people who reach out after a long silence have been carrying something too. People don't just randomly come back. There's almost always a reason, a moment, something that made them think of you specifically, and that reason matters because it tells you something real about where this could go. But here's where most people completely fall apart. When a lost connection comes back, the instinct is to either grab onto them so tightly that you suffocate whatever chance exists, or to act so cool and detached that you push them away all over again. Both of those responses come from fear. One is the fear of losing them again, the other is the fear of being hurt again. And fear is the single most destructive force in any attempt to rebuild something meaningful. Think about this for a second. Two people who genuinely cared about each other are suddenly back in contact. The foundation of real emotion is already there. It didn't disappear. Love, real love, the kind that created that connection in the first place, it doesn't just evaporate, it gets buried, but it's still there. Which means the potential here is enormous, and that's exactly what makes this moment so fragile. One wrong move, and it's over again. Possibly for good. And you already know this. That's why you're watching right now. Because you can feel the weight of this moment and you don't want to waste it. People who successfully rebuild lost connections share something in common. Every single one of them. They stopped trying to go back to what things used to be and instead focused on building something better than what existed before. That distinction is everything. You cannot recreate the past. But you can create something new and stronger and more intentional if you understand how. The people I've seen transform these situations, real people with real histories. Some of them had been apart for years, some through the worst kinds of pain imaginable, betrayal, misunderstanding, distance, grief. They didn't get there by hoping things would magically work out. They learned specific things about how human connection actually works at a deep psychological level. And once they learned it, everything changed. Now here is something that will probably surprise you. The biggest mistake people make when a lost connection returns isn't something dramatic. It's not sending the wrong message or bringing up old arguments. The biggest mistake is assuming that the other person feels exactly what you feel in exactly the same way. Your emotional experience of this reconnection and their emotional experience of it are almost certainly different. Not because one of you cares more, but because people process connection differently. People process absence differently. People process re-entry into someone's life differently. And when you assume your experience is their experience, you end up responding to something that isn't actually happening for them yet. This is where things go wrong faster than anything else. Because you might be in a place of full openness and emotion and hope, and they might still be testing the waters, still deciding whether this feels safe. Still wondering if the reasons things ended are still going to be problems. And if you come in at full emotional intensity when they're still dipping their toe in, it creates a gap that feels impossible to close. So what do? You meet them where they are, not where you wish they were, not where you used to be together, where they actually are right now. And you do that by listening more than you speak, by creating space instead of filling it, by showing them through your energy and your presence that things are different now. Not just saying it, showing it. The moment someone who was once gone from your life feels genuinely safe with you again, something unlocks. It's a shift you can actually feel. The conversation gets easier. The walls come down slightly, and suddenly you're not strangers trying to remember each other. You're two people rediscovering something real. That moment is extraordinary. I want you to experience it. But let me be honest with you about something that most people don't want to hear. Not every returning connection is meant to become what it once was. Some people come back because they need closure. Some come back because their life changed, and they needed to reach out to someone who once knew them well. Some come back because they genuinely want to rebuild. Understanding which of these is happening isn't always easy, but it's critical. Because chasing something that isn't actually there will cost you. It will cost you emotionally. It will cost you time, sometimes months or years of your life. It will cost you other opportunities for connection that you didn't pursue because you were waiting for this one person to come around. And here's the hardest truth of all. The connections that do rebuild successfully, the ones that actually become something beautiful and lasting, they almost never happen by accident. They happen because at least one person in that dynamic did something different this time. Said something different. Approached things differently. Understood something they didn't understand before. They stopped repeating the patterns that created the distance in the first place. Pattern. That word is everything. If you go back to the same patterns, you get the same result. Every single time. The universe is not going to give you a different outcome just because time has passed. You have to bring something new to it. And the people who do that, who actually break the cycle, who actually rebuild in a way that lasts, they describe it in almost the same way every time. They say it feels like the relationship they always wanted but never quite knew how to have. They say it feels better than anything they had before because now it's built on understanding instead of just feeling. Now it's intentional. Now both people actually know what they're doing instead of just hoping it works out. That's what's possible here. That's what's actually on the table for you if you navigate this right. So let me bring this home. Someone is back. Or you're hoping they will be. Either way, you're at a crossroads. One path looks familiar because it's the same path you've always taken. It feels comfortable even though it leads somewhere painful. The other path requires you to understand something you haven't fully understood yet. It requires you to be more intentional, more emotionally intelligent, more aware of the dynamics at play. That path leads somewhere genuinely different. Most people take the first path because it's easier in the moment, and most people end up losing the connection a second time because of it. Sometimes that second loss is permanent. The people who take the second path, the intentional one, they almost always look back on this exact moment as the turning point. The moment they decided to actually learn instead of just react. If you are ready to be one of those people, the program linked in the description below is where you need to go right now, not tomorrow, not after one more conversation with this person. Right now. Because the decisions you make in the next few days will shape everything that follows. People who wait until they feel ready usually wait until the window closes. And it does close. The people who move when the moment is alive are the ones who end up with the story they actually want to tell. This is your moment. Use it,